So I'm here at Craftsman Tools today. I'm with Fred Morrow. This is a fascinating story. Fred, I've got some notes. We've done some research before we came into the business today. And one of the points that was picked up on is that the company had aspirations to supply tool holders on a 2-week delivery from receipt of order, regardless of the quantity, whether it be a one-off or a 50-off. And that would include the machining, coating, assembly and testing. Now, the only way you could achieve this was by investing in new technology and new plant, which is, hence behind me, we've got the MAM72. Now, you've been on a learning curve with this machine and this technology. Has it or will it achieve those things that you set out to do?
I think it will. We're seeing vast improvements already. Again, in time and manufacturing, the part that we see there on the machine, we was producing in 3 hours and 47 minutes. We're now looking at 2 hours 14 minutes.
Paul, Craftsman Tools, you're a designer and manufacturer of tooling and fixturing. How long has the company been established?
The company was established in 1953 and we celebrated our 65th anniversary in April this year.
Some time to be in business, 65 years. What do you think is the kind of secret to the company's success?
Well, we supply the full package from design, manufacture to supply, and we also are noted for our quality and delivery.
Who is a purchaser of your product? Do end users buy sort of tooling and fixturing from you, or do you supply directly into the OEMs, or is there both markets?
It's both markets now. It used to be more OEMs, but now we do both. We're more than happy to send them all towards OEM, and we're also happy to work with the end user.
And I believe you're quite an embracer of apprenticeship schemes here. Did I hear that you won an award a year or two ago?
Yes, we've got an award-winning apprentice school. We try and take on 3 apprentices a year, and actually I'm one of the first apprentices as well.
Now you started exploring this back in 2017, so it's been getting on for a year now since you started this journey. It must have been quite difficult for your company because Craftsman Tools, you work with a lot of the major machine tool brands. They would have all been after your business here for a machine tool. Why is a Matsuura ending up being in this position?
Well, we give the same briefing to 2 companies, Matsuura and another company. And the idea that Matsuura came up seemed very appealing. We did have doubts at the beginning, but they've proven me wrong.
What were those doubts?
My belief was that the amount of material we was going to be taking out in one roughing out stage would actually twist the part, and they've proven me wrong.
I know we've had a conversation before we've come on camera. I'm quite impressed by this. You're cutting cast iron on this machine, so that's what the tool holders are made out of.
Yeah.
What's the depth of cut that you're actually doing? We'll have a look at the part in a minute, but what are you actually achieving here?
At one point we're machining 67mm depth of cut, which is quite frightening in my view it is.
Especially on cast iron, a horrible material to machine. Certain considerations you need to take into account when you purchase a machine, when you're machining that. For example, getting rid of the cast iron dust, the wear and tear on the machine. Yeah. Did those points come up while you were in the procurement process?
Yes, they did. Obviously, we discussed all these points, and we have a 5-micron filter system built in there so that it can filter out all the dust particles. So we've got a good spindle life, hopefully.
And the flood wash is pretty powerful as well, and there's a lot of it.
There's a lot of it, yes, there's plenty of it. In fact, if you have it on too long, you don't see what's going on.
Now, cutting material is one thing, but the reduction in the operations was a big factor as well. Same part you were making in the machine shop before the Matsuura hit here, but you were doing it in more operations. Can you explain?
Yeah, we was doing it in 5 operations. We'd do the base first, and then we would put it onto several fixtures to finish the part off. Where we're doing it now, it's 3 operations, a pre-op, so we can hold it on the Matsuura, and it hits all the key parts in one hit. Basically, and it's just take off the sacrifice piece.
And am I right in saying originally that the longer process was taking you about 3 hours and 50 minutes, and now with this machine and the way you're doing it, you could be doing it in around about 2 hours?
Yeah, we have had it just down to the 2-hour mark, but we've gone for the increase in life, so we've settled at 2 hours and 14 minutes.
So it's still a massive saving.
So a massive saving, yeah.
This Matsuura installation, in your opinion, how much of a difference has it made to the company and the operation here?
It's made a massive difference. It's one area we didn't think would go down. Other companies around us have done, and I'm really glad that we have taken that step.
And the products that you supply, are they standard products, or is it a lot of bespoke stuff, off-the-shelf items, or do you get involved in the majority of senses in designing equipment?
We have a standard range which are in our catalogues and on our website, but we also do bespoke to the customer's needs at that time.
And business has grown a lot in recent times, hence the investment. Do you see that continuing? I mean, is it the domestic market, or are you tending to export more of your product these days?
We expect over 75% of our products globally, and I see that growing as the market expands.
The repeatability and the accuracy of the parts obviously very important, with it being a tool holder for the turret of a lathe. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, they are key points to the part, really. We're talking 15 microns tolerance.
And was that one of your concerns as well, whether you would achieve that on the one machine, on this machine?
Yes, it was a major concern for me, because ultimately I'm the one that's got to pass these things off. And at the end of the day, that was my aspiration for Matsuura to prove to me that they could achieve it, and true to the word, they have done.
And they can. Now, I know when you were looking at this as well, Matsuura had a couple of machines that they were talking to you about. One was the MX330-10 pallet, and one was this 72 with the 35 pallets. This one won your business as a result of the fact that it had more pallets. Was that the reason? More flexibility, maybe?
More flexibility, more pallets, so straight away we could see the unmanned hours, running through. Once we've got a proven programme, we can put the part in and let it run unmanned through night.
And because that was interesting to me as well, because we often, engineers talk about production being what these machines are used in conjunction with, but your volumes, as I said at the start of this, are actually quite small. The tool holder we're talking here, you're only making around about 120 a year.
Yeah, I mean, we've even considered ones that are 1-2 offs a year, and those will be going on this machine at some point.
So the aim is you can load your pallets up with different components. Yep. As long as the programs have already been done. Yep. You're going to be able to run the machine overnight and throughout the day.
Yeah, that's the idea. We've proved the program out. There's no reason why we can't just throw a piece of bar on and let it run through night.
Tooling's a big factor as well. I know this machine's got 120 tools. Tell us how many tools you think you need and whether there's any advantage to having that amount of tools.
We have at the moment, we've got 98 tools and some sister tooling. The advantage is it covers all our tooling range that we know of today that we've actually manufactured.
So that 98 tools covers all of the parts that you're looking to put through this machine?
Yeah, to looking and possibly future parts. There may be some new tools, but we've got pockets there available to put them in.
There's also a point with the Matsuuras that are often talked about the uptime. They talk about 95% uptime. And I know you're still in your infancy really with this machine, but that's something that you're going to be striving for and something that impressed you as well.
Yeah, it was one of the things that are probably one of the selling points for the machine. They're guaranteed a 95% uptime, which I don't think many other manufacturers can offer you that.
And the two other points as well that I note from talking to your colleagues was the engineering expertise, which enabled them to turnkey this in a way that nobody else offered you. But secondly, the fact that if you had a problem, they were guaranteeing you they'd be here next day.
Yes, they've guaranteed next day turnaround, and the support from Matsuura is that, in my view, is tremendous. I've never experienced it before from any manufacturer.
First 5-axis machine. For you, has it been as difficult to get to grips with as you would have expected?
Not as what I thought, no. Not really. But
and is that as a result of the combination of the machine and the cam system you're using and the tooling, or is it just the machine?
I think it's a combination of the machine and the cam, but also the support from Matsuura as well. I don't think we would be where we are today if we hadn't have had that support.